How's it going, XRP family? Appreciate you guys as always. Happy Friday wherever you are around the world. Let's analyze together and see what's happening with the XRP price and, of course, what we could be expecting as we are going into the weekend. But looking across the board, we are seeing quite a bit of manipulation across, markets. Exactly what I've been saying pretty much since the start of the week. Just over the course of the last 1 hour, we have seen a major amounts of liquidations occurring around the futures market. And again, it pretty much sums up, the manipulation side of things. But looking across the board, pretty much once again across the board, we are seeing majority of the market seeing a retracement. But over the last 1 hour, we have seen a little bit of a bounce since this drop that we have seen over the course of the last 1 hour to a half. So if you're looking at XRP though, down about 2% in USD, also down about 1% in Bitcoin, comparative price at $2.13, valuation at about 125.6 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $2.1 billion. And in Bitcoin comparative, if you want to know in that as well, we are seeing it down about 1%. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So look at this, over $246 million in longs were liquidated in just the last 1 hour. That is insane. And again, goes back to what I've been saying, do expect more volatility. We were seeing Bitcoin ranging in this consolidation pattern over the course of the last few days, but that has obviously broken towards the downside, which of course had an impact on the broader market. So that's that. Again, just a continuous reminder to everyone that's coming new to the space. There is not as much interest coming in right now due to market kind of being boring. A lot of people usually do start paying attention to the crypto markets once you really do see altcoins really gearing up, but right now you're not seeing that much interest. So if this is your first time coming into the crypto market, I would strongly suggest you guys to stay away from leverage trading platform because manipulation can really wipe out your positions. And I don't care what people say, I'm just totally against leverage trading platform, and I would not want my viewers to go for leverage trading. But at the end of the day, everyone has their own decision to make, but that's something that I wouldn't suggest you doing. But anyhow, moving forward, look at this. Federal Reserve, Waller says interest rate cut could begin as early as July. So of course, the next FOMC meeting is scheduled for July, and then there's one in September. People want to know, whether or not we're going to see a rate cut. Obviously, this week we did not see that rate cut. Are we going to see that happening next month? Maybe. I personally think, with the amount of people, a lot of analysts around the globe that are saying, there needs to be a rate cut because the economy isn't looking as bad as what people are painting it as. So a little bit of a rate cut, maybe 25 BPS, I think could really bring in excitement within the equity markets as well as, the crypto markets. But at the end of the day, we are not economists. Those guys crunch their numbers and they look at the broader picture. Obviously, if you're looking at the US debt, it's continuing to rise. So those are some factors we need to consider. But of course, when it comes to an FOMC meeting and, they discuss a rate cut, that's always exciting. And it has been highly anticipated within the crypto space as well as, the equity market, because it gives investors more confidence to go in the market and invest. So that is primarily, the main reason why you want to see a rate cut happening. But we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that. But I personally think September, there is a high chance, in my opinion, that, we do see that cut happening. And then I think that would time everything perfectly. And we see that next wave of altcoin rally, which a lot of people are waiting on. But moving forward, this is something I wanted to kind of share with you guys and share my personal thoughts with you. So look at this. XRP won't see $3 anytime soon. This is obviously from Coin Bureau. On-chain data paints a bearish picture. New XRP wallet creation is down nearly 80% since January, and daily active addresses just plunged from 577,000 to only 34,000. And is confidence in XRP fading fast? What a lot of people are not going to realize when it comes to this specific post is that right now, as I've stated at the beginning of the update, we're not seeing as much interest coming in towards the crypto space, especially from retail. People that are paying attention to right now are, of course, the true holders that have been in crypto space for quite some time, institutions that are coming on board. Speaking about institutions, there's a lot of big, even companies that are, within the US, even publicly traded companies that are actually raising funds to create an XRP reserve within their company. And that tells you smart money is paying attention. Whales are accumulating. But in the grand scheme of things, obviously, retail interest is not where it is. So anyone that's still here, give yourself a pat on the back, because of course you are a true holder right now. Because once the price starts, breaking towards maybe like the 23.6 or towards the all-time high, that's where, all the, people just start pouring in. Everyone's a moon boy all of a sudden. Everyone like wants the price to go to the moon. Well, that's funny. But during these times, people just forget, like, whatever, it is what it is. But if you want to really see whether or not you are a true holder or not, and if you're still here paying attention, dollar cost averaging in, while there is quite a bit of uncertainty within the space, you are one of the true holders, in my opinion. But anyhow, let's take a look at this. I really want to share this with you guys. So expanding settlement infrastructure, Visa continues to expand its stablecoin infrastructure and has already settled $225 million using a stablecoin, which is a Circle stablecoin USDC. WorldPay and UV are used to connect merchants. Both are Ripple connected. And on top of that, look at this. Swift and Ripple could easily exist in the same space, even with Swift making use of Ripple distributed ledger technology, which is, of course, DLT. Yes, Swift's tokenized data layers can integrate with Ripple cross-border payment systems. And really wanted to kind of go over what Coinbase CEO has to say. The world needs crypto now more than ever. Debt is growing exponentially. Inflation is crippling entire nations. Economic freedom is declining. It's time to increase economic freedom globally with crypto. And here's how we're making it happen. And of course, if you want to read more of that, I would suggest you to go on his Twitter and read that. But last but not least, Everything Blockchain plans 10 million strategic acquire into 5 assets, including XRP. So the list of assets that they are acquiring are, Solana, XRP, Sui, Bittercent, so, Tau, and Hyperliquid. There we have it. But now let's take a look at what's happening with the price. Look what happened. Just look at what happened, guys. Like, if you follow my channel every single day, you guys know we've been discussing this. Here we have it. We have seen that breakout for the dominance. 65.24% for the first time since May, like early May. And you are looking at the dominance, picking up, and pretty much, guys, we could start heading up to the likes of 65.49%. I think we could see a yearly high, but what's causing the dominance to break out the way it did? Look at what's happening with BTC. Remember this consolidation that I spoke to you guys about just last night? So a lot happened since our last update, and this perfectly sums up what I've been telling you guys over the course of the last few days. So look at this consolidation for BTC. We were consolidating pretty much within this range. We actually saw a beautiful breakout this morning, going up to $106,560. But speaking about that range, we never really managed to get back up to the 106,800. That was a clear rejection, clear fake out, because look what happened to BTC. Just as the price of Bitcoin started to climb up, of course, a lot of people started, piling on their longs. People were like, oh, this could be that breakout. And boom, this is where, the market makers step in, and you could really see for yourself that, the price of Bitcoin fell down to $102,318, which of course caused a major liquidation. So obviously we're going into the weekend. On the weekend, more manipulation as usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. We need to keep that factor in mind. But it's vital for Bitcoin to close back above the $103,460, before the daily candle, the weekly candle close happens. And as we are going into the weekend, it's really important. If not, I'm pretty much open to 100,000 retests once again, believe it or not. So we'll see what happens in the next few hours to come. If you're looking at XRP, of course, it's going to have an impact. We saw XRP going down to the likes of $2.08 once again. Pretty much 4-time retest down to this range. But look, exactly at the neckline we retested and have pretty much gone back up to the $2.12. So let's say you had some buy orders placed in around here, limit orders. You are up about like 2% instantly. But right now, like I said, Bitcoin is where you really want to have your eyes on. Bitcoin needs to close back above this range, the daily candle. If it's unable to do that, 100K is still open, and pretty much 100K is open as long as we're below the 106,800 level. I've been quite clear upon that. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's some external factors that are happening globally that can impact the broader market. Those are news that it's not in our control. It's pretty much news by news, and we'll see what happens. Let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you for all your support. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.